Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. It's Friday morning. Finally, Friday. As you can see, the background is a little bit different. What I have been done, same as you guys. I'm at home, working at home. I don't have nice background. Just window. Yeah, sure. If you have any questions about how to live and study Korea, just leave comment below because we are in the live streaming in Instagram and YouTube over here. So I will go through all the questions. In the meantime, thank you so much for giving me all the questions, which is very interesting and also very important. So I'm gonna go through in order if I can and answer you as much as I know. No snow. We had the snow a couple of days ago, and actually today we are expecting snowing. However, as you can see, there is like no snow yet. However, you can see many clouds, so I guess it's coming. I guess. Hello YouTube and hello Instagram. This is Eddy from gogohanguk. It's 9:04 a.m. in Korea, Seoul, South Korea. Friday. Some of you might be Thursday or same Friday. So thank you for joining me. Unlike before, we used to do every Monday like 10:30 or 10-ish a.m. But today I'm gonna start a little bit early just because I don't have to commute. Oh, good. Guatemala from 6 p.m. Thursday. Oh, nice time. Yes. Korea is getting, actually this week is very cold. Today is gonna be, I don't know, -5 or something, but when it comes to, nighttime, it's gonna be very cold, like, sometimes -10. Some area, very cold area in Seoul, Korea, not Seoul, in South Korea, it might go down to like -15, -20. Same to you. I hope you safe and warm. Good. So once again, today I'm going to answer some of your questions from before. And if you have a question now, you can, comment here so that I can get back to you. In the meantime, if I miss something, then you, just email us at info@gogohanguk.com so that our nice coordinators will answer you. Good. And then before actually going to the Q&A, we have very good news. So as you know, we have the online course, Hanyang online course. And then we will invite the teacher to answer some of your Korean questions. So the teacher will be joining our live streaming next week. And then she will answer you all your Korean questions. It doesn't matter you take the course or not. So if you have any Korean question, if you study yourself, but you are, wondering what this is, what that is, then you can answer. You can ask her. So as you know, on our YouTube community, we already announced it. Very nice time. It's 24th of December. 24th of December next week. It's 10 a.m. Korean time. So for now, it's 9 a.m. 10 a.m. So 1 hour later, we are going to start the live streaming with Miss Sujin Kwon from Hanyang University. so that you can bring all your Korean questions. Good. Oh, second announce. So that's very good news. And as you know, we always remind you to, if you want, of course, to let us know as soon as possible if you want to come next March 2021. Oh my God, 2021 next March. Now. So if you want to come next March, you need to contact us now so that we can help you and we can go through all the things. Especially this time, there would be more steps for you to follow. So the sooner the better. In the meantime, always is nice. Even for the next, next autumn or next summer, next December, doesn't matter. The sooner the better for you to have more time to prepare. Good questions here and there. So I will go through all your questions. Good. Oh my God. Once again, I'm live in Instagram and YouTube. Just understand me, watching, not watching you or watching you. Okay. Very exciting. 괜찮아요. 감사합니다. Background is okay. Thank you. Spain, 1 a.m. Wow. From Italy, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Actually, personally, I plan to go to Italy this year, but I cannot. I'm afraid. So next year, I will go there at some point. Make sure to stay warm. Thank you so much. Hi from Mexico. Hello. I know only hola. ¿Cómo estás? That's all. That's all I know for Spanish. So first question to answer. If I'm from Jan-Trekt, if I'm going to study Korean, I will be on a student visa, right? Am I able to work with this visa? If so, any hours restrictions of working per week? Yes. So it's one of the frequently asked questions. So with the student visa, you can work. However, there is two conditions in summary. So first one, the first 6 months of your student visa, then you cannot work. However, the other 6 months, you can work, but up to normally 20 hours per week. In the meantime, if you are going to work in this period, you need to get kind of approval from the school, from the immigration office. So for this, we can help you go through like what to prepare and where to submit. We can help you that. So you can work, but there is restriction as you see, as you told me. So just keep two things in mind. In the meantime, the school might not allow you to work just because there is if you are not standing, if you're not like attending well to the school, then school will not allow you to work. So you need to be diligent, and then you need to study hard so that the school will allow you to work. So yes, you can. But just remember that the student visa is for studying, so you need to study first and then might be working. Okay. Second question. Do you know if there is any platform where I can look for internship jobs? I'm studying fashion design and it's my last year. Very good question, but for me, it's very hard to answer. For our service is to help you to study and then stay. But of course, there are some sites, but it would be nice if you can send us email so that we can give you some examples. But once again, we are not a master for helping you for working. So please do understand me. Good. Too many questions. Very good. Yes, yeah, winter comes. Very cool. Are the courses helpful for intermediate interns? Learners, sorry. Are the courses helpful for intermediate learners? I'm not sure which course you are talking about, but if you asking for our online course, Hanyang online course or live session, first thing, so online course is for the beginner. So I'm not sure the intermediate level, what you like the level of intermediate, but the course has like a preview videos. You can check that out. And then the live session for the next week is gonna be all levels. So if you wanna just like ask for intermediate, like high, advanced Korean question, just feel free to join the live streaming for next week. Good. And then about the Korean course. So Korean course in Korean school, they have variety of the levels. So from the beginner up to the advanced. And then if you are going to come, then there will be some process to judge your level. So you don't have to worry about it. So intermediate, for sure, there would be some courses from the Korean course. Okay, let's answer some of the questions from the YouTube. Hello. Yeah, 6 p.m. in Guatemala. 6 p.m. Sorry, 6 p.m. is good time to join. 1 a.m. Spain. Sorry about studying either on a university or in Lexis. Can I work after 6 months? Oh, actually, yeah, I answered the question. Very good. So yes, you can work after the 6 months with the student visa. However, one thing that you need to know about the Lexis is private school, so they cannot issue the visa, student visa. So if you want to stay longer, then I want you to check out our university language course. And then, of course, in order to get the student visa, you need to register 6 months, minimum 6 months. So 6 months, over 6 months, you can apply for the student visa. And you can extend it later if you like. The other question, are there any scholarship to use to study in Korea? First of all, we help you go to the Korean language course. And most of the Korean language programs do not have any scholarships. There is some like how can I say scholarship, but you need to register first, and if you study hard, let's say for example, if you are top of the the class, or if you are top of the level, then school might give you like 10% off or 15% off, but the next term. So I'm afraid there is no scholarship from the beginning. You need to register first and study hard. Then the school might be able to give you some scholarship, kind of financial aid. Good. And some school does what, like for example, Hanyang, they do if you and your sister or if you brother, if they register together, there would be 10% off from the beginning. So there is each school is a little bit different. So I want you to ask us by email so that we can answer you based on your question or based on your needs. Good. I should go through the questions. Can I email about all this? Yes, of course you can. And the sooner the better. Even though you come like next year, next winter time, then no problem at all. I want you guys to email us as soon as possible, even now for the 2021 winter or fall registration. And then our service is free. So bother us. from Colombia. Hello, hola. Yeah, before we did like a Spanish live streaming as well with Christina, our lovely Spanish coordinators. So from time to time we do like me, not perfect English with Nathan, and perfect Spanish with Christina. So for me, it's like intermediate, not perfect English, but I can still you hopefully answer your questions. So maybe sooner we do the Spanish live streaming. Thank you, no problem. How much money would I need to live the first 6 months? Can I work? First 6 months, no, you cannot work. For example, to pay rent, bills, food, bus. So first 6 months. So first 6 months you cannot work with the student visa. Following 6 months or following 3 months, following 1 year, you can work. But there is condition, like I said. Second, so how much money would I need for live the first 6 months is very good question. So you need to consider many aspects. So first of all, studying, and then food, like the other like things would be up to you. So first the 6 months studying, let's say you study first the 6 months Korean language course, then you need to pay about 3,000 US dollar for the only for the study. And then there would be flight ticket, and there would be some food and other like rent, other things. Big chunk would be the rent. You might think about like 500 US dollar per month for the rent fee. And then the other things, transportation is quite reasonable, I would say. Maybe $50 per month. So if you sum up like 3,000 US dollar and then flight ticket from Korea, from your country to us, maybe this is optional, maybe. Or the other things. So I would say for the 6 months, you need to have at least overall 6,000 US dollar or 7,000 US dollar. But once again, this up to your like spending habit. So if you like go out a lot, some having fun, then the cost will go up. And then if you want to like reduce some cost, then you need to also consider to study in Busan or in Daegu, which the tuition fee is a little bit cheaper. So that's another option you think you also consider. You can also consider. Good. I guess I answered the one. How much does a full course cost to study the language? So you need to also know for the university course, there's 4 terms in a year. So March, June, 4, and December. So 4 terms. So each of them is 10 weeks course. So when I say 6 months, you study like 2 terms. 2 terms, student visa, no work. 1 year, 1 year student visa, no work, yes work. So one full course, 10 weeks is average, I would say 1,000, 300 US dollar or 1,500 US dollar for only for the study course. Good. So you can multiple how many months, how many terms you want to study. What do people usually do for housing? Are there dorms? Yes. Not every school, but many schools for the Korean language student, they have also like a dormitory. And then for us, we also do have accommodation help. So there would be share house, homestay, dormitory, and mini studio. So it's totally up to you what you want. So just research a little bit and check out our website, www gogohanguk.com, and then there would be some basic information. What's the pros and cons for each course, each like accommodations. So some of the school has dorms, but the dormitory is like a limited like rooms. So the sooner the better for you to ask us if you come to next March. Even for some of, because we are accepting March students applications now, some of the dorms is already like full. So the sooner the better, especially for you to, if you want to stay in dormitory, then the sooner the better for us. Let's answer some of the questions here in YouTube. Which universities do you recommend to choose in KGSP? So KGSP, I guess, is for the scholarship program. I'm afraid the Korean course is not really into that scholarship kind of process or program. So some of the like question from yesterday was also about the university or master's degrees. So we are not yet to the that field yet. So for now, we currently help you check out, help you study Korean language. So I cannot answer the questions yet. However, we also plan to expand our service into the undergraduate or master programs, but in the future. So for that, I cannot answer you right now. So I want you to check out the Google, and then if you still want to improve your Korean skill, then ask us. Sorry about it. Thank you for asking. I can get a job after learn the language. Like I said, with the student visa, you can still work, but these things, no work, no work, yes work. And another option for you is the working holiday visa. So some of the like country is kind of contract with the Korean government. So for example, US, Canada, Canadian people, they can apply for the working holiday visa. So you can work at the same time from the beginning. You can work and also studying at the same time. So I want you to check your like a government website if your country has like a working holiday kind of contract with Korea. Another question from the YouTube. How hard is it to bring your pet with you? Have a small dog that I would like to bring with me. Very good question. So it gets easier. And I don't know the details, but let me write it down so that we can have kind of blog articles about it. Bring it back. For me, I would more likely suggest you to research some the accommodation in Korea, because not every accommodation in Korea allow pet living together. So there is consideration. So bringing to the pet would be easier, but renting a room or like finding house with pet would be more challenging, considering your budget, the location of the accommodation, so that you can commute, and then of course the price. So bringing would be easier. However, like where you will live would be more kind of problem. So you need to consider that first or second. Good. Okay. Do we need student visa if we only come to study for 3 months? Very good question, and you don't need it. However, it's going to be depending on your country. So some of the countries, of course, still due to the pandemic situation, some of the countries cannot even allow, many countries actually cannot allow to come to Korea without visa. So before like pandemic, there's many countries come to Korea without any visa, and then study up to 90 days, which is 3 months. So uh, currently, I would say for studying 3 months, you don't need a visa, student visa. In order to get the student visa, you need to have a registered 2 terms, which is 6 months. Of course, we can help you go through, prepare the documents, and then apply for visa. No problem, Kiki. Thank you for asking. What country do your students usually come from? It's very it's we are supporting many countries. Of course, not every countries because we have limited like manpower. In the meantime, the Korean government is quite strict. Some of the countries. So for now, I would say like 10 to 15 countries mostly, and then US would be one of the top, and then there is many like France, Italy, Spain, those countries. So, but still, like we are supporting 10 to 15 normally, student from 10 to 15 countries. And then as time goes by, the background is getting like white. Okay. The other question: when is the deadline to apply for June semester 2021? Each school is a little bit different. So, but I would say the deadline would be end of April of 2021. But still, I want you to contact us now, even for the June term, so that you can, counsel with our student coordinator. In the meantime, prepare documents for your visa if you want to stay longer than 6 months for your visa to prepare in advance. Another, how long do you think it takes to learn the language, at least to have conversation and work? Very hard question. So you can come back next week's live streaming with the teacher. But give you like brief my not advice, like my thinking would be, at least you reach, in terms of level, at least you need to reach level 4 at the university Korean course. So there is normally level 1 to 6 Korean course average in Korean university, and being the level 4 would be more likely consider you can go to Korean university. So level 4 means from the level 1, from the level 1 you're gonna study at least 1 year. So for the time being, I would say like 1 year. But like I said, the I don't know how good you are now, and also it's gonna be totally depends on your speaking skills. There is many aspects to consider, conversational or good for work. Of course, the higher the better. However, at least you need to study 1 year, and then you need to study hard, and you need to be very outgoing, very, how can I say, very active to use Korean in your country or even in Korea. It's totally up to the person. From the Jack, hello, is age limit for the applications. So for example, age limit in order to get to the university Korean course, normally is 18 years old, older than 18 right? 18 years old. And then there is no like a top, but in order to apply, you need to graduate from the high school, which means 18 years old normally. So that's the age limit for the course. But of course, there is the some course from our course, study trip course, from the Lexis Korea, the private school can also study underaged, like from 13 to 17. So if you are less than 18 years old, you cannot get the student visa, but still you can come to study Korean in Korea. Can people from the UK apply? Yes, many people from UK apply. Yes, so I would say one of the top countries that we support. So UK, yes, UK. In Argentina, the work holiday don't work because the dollar here is so expensive. Okay, so Argentina don't have it. Let me check. Excuse me. The other questions. Oh, I love answering. It's already 30 minutes past. Would we need to come 2 weeks before our class starting date so that we can quarantine in government facility? Oh, that's good questions. The answer would be yes and no. So, in order to stay government facility for quarantine, so there is two things you need to consider. First thing, so if you want to or if you need to stay in government facility for quarantine, you should. If you come with no visa or visiting visa, or if you stay less than 90 days, then that's like mandatory to stay in government facility. But it doesn't mean that you need to come like 2 weeks before the class started. Of course, it's better to set your time. So after 2 weeks, move another accommodation and study. That's totally fine. But you don't have to come 2 weeks before. Let's say, for example, your course will start from March 1st. Then you need to come, let's say, like 1st of February. Of course, the visa matters, how long your visa, so you don't have to come just 2 weeks before. In the meantime, if you come with the student visa, then you cannot stay in the government facility for quarantine. You need to find some accommodation by your own or through our help, and then you can stay there. So short time visiting, which is less than 90 days, you have to stay in government facility. Stay longer, over 90 days, there's no maximum, over 90 days. Long-term staying, then you cannot stay in the government facility. You need to find another accommodation. Good. Oh, I think I answered how old do you have to be? Over 18 years old in order to apply for student visa. Less than that, you can still come, but you cannot apply for the student visa. My daughter had great experience with gogohanguk when they traveled to Korea in 2018. Wonderful service. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We try to do our best. Thank you so much. 안녕하십니까? 안녕하세요. Would you let people from Canada join if they aren't Korean? Of course. Of course. We also supporting Canadian people a lot. Of course. One of the like a different thing for Canada. So for example, like I said, people can come to Korea without visa for 90 days. But Canada is a little bit special. So Canadian people can come without visa, and then they can stay up to 180 days, which is 6 months. So that's totally different from other countries. There might be some like same country, but I don't ring a bell. So Canadian people, even for you, you can come without visa and stay here for up to 180 days. But of course, now in this pandemic situation, it's like a suspended, I guess. So you need to check that out before coming, before planning. Sorry. Yes, you don't need to be Korean. So that's why, we help get a visa. Thank you. 고마워요 for your answers. Thank you for asking that I can answer you. Another question. Classes, I have a question. Classes all month, the 4 weeks, or you have some days to accommodate, not counting weekends? Many questions in one sentence. So like I said, to give you brief information about the Korean classes. So like I said, there is like 4 terms in a year: March, June, September, and December. This one term is Monday to Friday, normally Monday to Friday, and 4 hours per day. So overall, 200 hours for one semester. So like I said, we always say like it's intensive. So when you consider, when you want to come and study Korean in Korea, you need to be very study hard, and you need to be very diligent in order to be successful overseas life. So no weekends, no weekend study. Good. Okay, the other question. I think they mean the other classes every day for the whole month. So the classes will be every day from the Monday to Friday, 4 hours per day. And then in between terms, let's say, for example, March and June term, there's a small break. Of course, it's depending on the school, 5 days. Maybe some school has like 15 days or 2 weeks break in between the terms. Hello, Chantella. I have a question. If the terms become full, what other accommodation would you recommend? It's totally up to you. So if the dorm is already full, then based on your budget and based on your preference, there is like homestay. I forgot the saying homestay. Homestay, share the house, a mini studio, and dormitory. So with the dormitory, there would be 3 more options to consider. And then let us know what you're planning to do and when you want to come, and then we can try to help you based on your plan. Good. Okay, once again, this is Eddy from gogohanguk. It has been 40 minutes. So I will try all your questions live streaming. We are live in the Instagram and YouTube. Once again, I'm answering you at home. So the background is a little bit different from before. When I started it was dark, and now it's like white. If I miss some of your questions, please email us at info@gogohanguk.com. Thank you for joining. Oh, you are coming next year, so good. Yeah, 2020 is a little bit challenging compared to before, but people still come. One thing that I want to say is that even though in this pandemic situation, I would say like Korea government doing okay or good jobs to maintain the circumstance. In the meantime, of course, there is 14 days quarantine. When you come from the outside of the Korea, but still, we never kind of stop the people coming from outside. So there's procedures, and then also the study is keep going. Of course, some of the school doing the online course because the government government choice decision. But even from the March of this year, June, September, and December, there is no not operating the course. You guys can still come and enjoy your life in Korea. Of course, it's gonna be a little bit challenging, but time matters for you. So I would recommend you contact us now. And this is the situation, the period of with Korea's time. Good. I will answer you. Right now, foreigners have to pay per stay in COVID facility. One is 10만 원, which is like a $90 per stay in COVID facility in Korea. So maybe later next year, Korea will let us in. Yes, without quarantine, it would be amazing. But like you said, it's pretty much like a exact amount. 10만 원 per stay one day. 90 US dollar about. So it's the facilities is including food for 3 meals, as you see many YouTubers doing it, 3 meals per day, and the facility, of course. And then there would be test. So when you check in, I would say when you check in, they would test you for the COVID, and then tell you maybe in 1 day or 2 days the result. And then depending on result, you can stay there for 14 days and go free. If I come and stay at dormitory, do we still have to go to the COVID facility first? Like I said, yes and no. It's gonna be depending on how long will you stay in Korea. So if you are going to stay longer than 90 days, then we consider it long-term visiting. Long-term visiting, you cannot go to the facility. Accommodation. So you need to find your own accommodation. Of course, we can help you go through it. And then you can go to the dormitory. But if you say, if you can stay here less than 90 days, which is short-term visiting, then you have to stay there for 14 days. Or if you are asking about the test center, it's a little bit different story. So if you are going to be quarantined in government facility, in quarantine facility, you will get tested. But like I said, if you are going to stay long-term visiting, if you are long-term visiting over 90 days, then on the way to the accommodation or after arrival, in 3 days, you need to visit the local hospital and you need to get tested. And that the result will come out 1 or 2 days. Cool. Andrian from the YouTube, is this a scholarship? No scholarship for the language course, I'm afraid. Sorry about it. Can I quarantine in the rented apartment? I don't want to quarantine at an Airbnb. Yes, you can do that. But like I said, you need to stay longer than 90 days so that you can quarantine in the rented apartment. That's totally fine. But you need to also consider that when you rent, I don't know how long and how long you are going to stay. If you are going to stay short period and for the length, then you need to check with the room owner if you can quarantine in that place. So yes, you can do that, but you need to check with the owner of the house. And then rent apartment is quite challenging when you stay a short term. So research a lot or let us know so that we can give you basic information. Okay, anytime, I will answer you here. But if not, if I miss something, you can always, email us. Do you or Nathan reply to the email? I haven't emailed in a long time. Uh, Normally let's say for the international, then Nathan does. My English is not perfect. So he does. And he is very good at that. Hello, hello, Beja Ozen. One of my Turkish friends' name was Ozen. Wezen? I'm not sure. Ozen. It's so expensive. I will wait until we don't have the quarantine. That will be amazing. Yeah, that will be amazing. I'm afraid, this year, this like a situation, this period, a little bit like special than before. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, finally, I think Turkish. Yeah, yeah, right. Hello. I met him in Canada. Good looking guy. Okay, finally, I can go through the questions from yesterday. Okay, let me go through the questions. I think I answered you the cost of the language course, minimum cost of the language course. The other question is it cheaper to live with the host family or apartment if you are staying for 3 months? It's going to be totally up to the accommodation place. So it's hard to say, hard to answer. First thing, one you need to check is that if you can rent the apartment for 3 months. So you need to check that first. And the second question would be, it's going to be depending on the location. So, common information, I would say the price would be pretty similar for the 3 months. So if you rent for the 3 months for the shared house, host family, like homestay, and the apartment renting for 3 months, the price itself would be pretty similar. But in the meantime, the host family give you the food, either like breakfast or dinner. So you need to consider those things to consider it. So in terms of price for 3 months in host family and rented apartment, the price itself, I would say it would be pretty similar. Hello, I want to know if there are 1-year courses to study the Korean language. Yes. So I can give you a little bit more information on that. So in order to stay 1 year, you need to apply for at least 4 terms, like I said, 4 terms with the student visa. So it's a matter of how many terms you will register. So you can register even 2 years with the 1 student visa, or you can register 2 terms. So to answer your question, if there are 1-year courses, yes, there's 1-year courses. And you can study minimum 6 months up to 2 years with the 1 student visa. Why does Canada have 180 days without a visa? I don't know. I guess Canada and Korea has like special agreement on it. So that's why, our government allow for Canadian people stay 180 days without visa. So I guess it's like more likely same condition for example, for me as a Korean, go to the Canada, I can stay, up to 180. 6 months without visa. Same reason for you guys can come to Korea for 6 months. That's what I can guess. Okay. Another question from yesterday. We have to pay when we go for study. So yes, you need to pay for it. I would say more likely, if you wanna study, then you need to pay beforehand at once. So there is no uh, installment. So let's say, for example, if you registered the 6 months, then you need to pay before, of course, like coming uh, during the application date at once. So that the school will issue the letter for the visa, and then you can apply for the visa. The other question. I just ask you what the minimum cost for cost of language course. It's gonna be depending on how many months, how many terms you wanna study. So there is a course Alexis studying only 1 week, and like I just said, you can study in the university up to 2 years. So it's more likely how long you want to study. Okay, let's go to the other questions. Maybe an obvious question, but you reserve a room first before actually going to Korea. Yes, of course. Like I said, there is like consideration of the quarantine and everything, and then of course without it you need to of course like it's same as trip. Uh, so when you go to like travel, you book a hotel. So it's pretty similar like concept. Of course, stay longer is a little bit different. So that's why there would be things you can choose. Like the like host family or host family like accommodation, and then like a mini studio or shared house, all the things. You need to choose what you want, and then based on that, you need to reserve it in advance, or dormitory. Yeah, like I said, Gotion is one of the options. So we call the Gotion as the mini studio. Let's say the other course, the other not course question. If we want to stay in a shared house, can we choose it ourselves or you? Of course, you will choose it. So, for example, we are working with borderless house mostly for the shared house. So, when you check out the borderless house website, then there's many options based on the location. So, if you are going to stay here, then there is like one house, and then if you check the house, then there is a room type. So totally up to you where you stay, which house, which room you want to stay. So not by us through your choice, but your choice. But we can go through all the process. Of course, there is another thing you need to do with the borderless house. But the selection of the room or house is up to you. Would it be better to live on or off campus? It's same. It's totally up to you. But when you say like on campus, then it's more likely dormitory than dormitory. So uh, it's another question for you if you want to stay in dormitory or the other facility or the other like accommodation. Do you need to get a student visa? Uh, if you are going to stay longer than longer, which is like a more or longer than 6 months, yes, you need to have a student visa. Like I said, the Canadian is a special case, except the Spanish, except the like Canadian case. Yes, you should have the student visa. How can I find a master in my field of study to apply to? I cannot answer that yet. So I would more likely suggest you to do many research as you do, but my suggestion would be, more likely, there would be many masters programs in Korea. So you need to consider, when you research, you need to consider like this master is good with this school. This school is popular or famous for this master. So you need to consider, the school and the master kind of, popularity. In the meantime, you need to consider the location, either in Seoul, in Busan, in Daegu, or in small cities. And then if you can go there or not, there will be many things to consider, which I cannot answer. I'm sorry. Let's go the other. Another question: is it possible to change the student visa for Korean language training to the working visa? Yes, you can, but of course, we cannot support you getting the working visa, so you need to get another like professional help. But that's totally possible, I would say. But of course, it's also like what kind of working visa and which school, which company would support you get a working visa. However, let's say, for example, if you want to change it from student visa to working holiday visa, but then it's not possible in Korea. So you need to complete the student visa, complete the course with the student visa first, and then you need to go back to your country and then apply for the working holiday visa in there, and then you can come back. So I'll say yes to the questions, but you need to, of course, you can do it by yourself. But I can say you can change from the student visa to the working visa. Of course, it also depending on the nationality as well. Tourist visa can't be changed in Korea. You need to go back home, get the from course. I know that a tourist visa can change. For example, if you come to Korea with the tour visa, like a C3 visa. So tourist visa in Korea, if you want to change it to language course D4 visa, then it's possible in Korea. So long and short, tourist visa to the student visa in Korea, possible. But it's also depending on it could be depending on the nationality of yours. So if I find the contract after finishing my language training, I can sign it without going back to my country once again. I don't know. I think it's possible, but please, working visa is not our like master area. So I want you to more likely, check with somebody professional, some professional. I'm Tujinian. I can stay 30 days in Korea as a touristic visa. Okay, good for you. But changing from the let me say this. So it's not easy. If you change from the student visiting visa to student visa, from student visa to working visa, it's not easy. But I would say it's possible. But it's gonna be, it should be done by the, lawyer, immigration lawyers or something. So I would say I'm afraid I cannot give you like a correct or up to date or general answer to that. I'm afraid, sorry about it. But I want you to check with the like a lawyer, immigration lawyer, to give you like a solid answer for that. I think it's better for you as well. Okay, let me go through another questions here, and then I will go back to Instagram. Thanks for asking, Baha, by the way. Is it possible to have other classes as well as the Korean classes at the university? That's actually a good question. So for example, if you are coming to only the Korean language course, then you cannot attend other course in the university. However, the course that we work with the Hanang University, we have like visiting program with the Hanyang University that allows you to study the Korean course. In the meantime, there is credit for you to attend, another like university course. So that's something that you need to look into from our help. The course is very fascinating, just because you can study 6 months or 1 year or more. If of course there are some criteria. But you can also study the Korean language as well as the university courses. So if you want to kind of test it out, and if you are afraid coming to Korea for like a long term for 4 years, then the course would be your option. For example, you come to visiting visa, visiting program. Sorry, visiting program. You register visiting program, stay 6 months or 1 year, and then if you like it, you can extend your stay. That would be my suggestion for you. If you want to kind of see the improve of Korean skills, and if you want to kind of taste the university life in Korea, then visiting program is the thing you need to look into. Sorry for the noise. Let me just close my messenger here. Okay, let me go to the other cases. I'm studying hard. Sorry. I'm studying hard. And how does their grades look like? That's good to know you are studying hard. Grades for the language course you are asking about. Then there would be many things that the university does, getting vital. So each university has a little bit different, like curriculum and test, quiz, like a speaking, homework. There are many kind of things that they check for your Korean skills. So I would say there would be some scores from 1 to normally 100, and if you are past some like level, then you can go to another level. So once again, the course itself is very incentive. In the meantime, each school has different kind of criteria to judge your Korean skills. So you need to study hard. Oh, I don't know. It's good answer or not. So there's a grade 1 to 100. Normally, if you are passed over 80, with like 80 attendance, each university is different. Then you can pass to another level. And in order to get 80, you need to study hard. You need to do like presentation. Sometimes you need to do a homework, many homework, and quiz. Sometimes midterm, final terms, and some like group work. So there are some things that you need to complete. So I hope you study hard in the Korean course as well. Good. What's the best way to begin learning Korean? I mean, the first step. That's something that I cannot answer, but when you come to our next live streaming with the teacher, Hanyang University Korean teacher next week, 24th, 10 a.m., then she can answer, I guess. But I guess, familiar with the language itself, like expose yourself to the language would be the first step. Like, many people does like listening to K-pop, watching some dramas or movies, like, I do personally, you know, then you are familiar or you are curious about it. And then, finding the Korean friends in your country would be the best practice for the first step. And then you can pass if you are interested in improving Korean skill, then we can help you come to Korea to study Korean, of course. How to find cheap stay accommodations and website recommendations. So first thing you need to do is check our website, gogohanguk.com. There is accommodation section. And then there is like pros and cons for each accommodations. And then based on that, you can do more researches. There are many website, I would say, website give you kind of insight. So I cannot tell like what this way, look into this website or that website. Only gogohanguk.com. And other than that, if you want to know more, then you need to choose based on your preference. I guess I answered some of all of your questions from the yesterday. Once again, some people ask me, you from this country, that country, and then if we can support you. So once again, from the beginning, we have like a limited power, limited country that we can support. So some countries that, some countries we cannot help you. I'm afraid we cannot help you come to Korea. I'm sorry about it, but of course, like I said, we are expanding. We try to expand our service to many countries and many courses, not just only Korean language course. So stay tuned, and then keep visiting to our website, and then when time is right, then you can get support from ours without any cost. Sorry for the big numbers of the questions. I guess the message is not, I cannot see. Baha, I'm afraid. Just email us so that we can give you more information. Okay, finally, Instagram. Going back to Instagram. 안녕하세요. Can speak Spanish. You can of course speak Spanish, but I don't understand it. Sorry about it. I will ask Christina later to answer you back. Or you can email us at info@gogohanguk.com that Christina, our Spanish coordinator, can answer you back in Spanish. Sorry for the Instagram stops from time to time. And then it's 10:11 a.m. Saturday, December 18th. This is Eddy from gogohanguk. I'm going through all your questions. Once again, I'm going to summarize very soon. I think I'm pretty much answered pretty much all the questions, and then maybe later I will answer you more with this live streaming. If I go to study exchange, I need to specific level of Korean or only with English? That's good question. So like I said, the exchange program is similar to our visiting program. So of course you need to of course check the school, the exchange school. But normally you don't need to have Korean skills, I would say. But of course, if you want to attend the class in Korean, then of course you need to have Korean skills to understand the course. So, and second thing you need to consider is beneficial to know some Koreans before coming to Korea. So only for the studying, if you are not going to attend the classes in Korean, then you don't have to have Korean skills. There are many courses in English, so you can just select the English classes when you apply or when you choose the courses. Good. Canada lets everyone in. That's good. That's good. Very generous. And I love people over there. Is there any big differences between the four Seoul schools curriculums? Once again, I cannot answer deeply for that because each school has different curriculums. Especially curriculum is me personally, I do not kind of study the education I don't have education background, so I cannot tell that. However, each school has different curriculum, different teachers, of course, or different study time, different location. It's not really curriculum, so it's very hard to say this school has that. For me now, the curriculum differences. However, check out our homepage. So each school has different characteristics, so that you can have some ideas about each schools. What type of housing is available for students? I heard Goshen is options. Oh, I think I answered it before. Can I email gogohanguk to help me get an apartment near Busan Language Institute at the Busan National University? How much will I need to pay for the deposit fee? Oh, I would like to quarantine at there too. So first thing, the schools in Busan, we are only working with the Gyeongsang University. If you are going to go to the Busan National University, then we cannot really help you. And then getting an apartment is quite challenging for the international people. So if you already set up your, if you already registered the course, then I would say contact them, ask them directly if they can support you to get an apartment or not. One thing that I can answer you is that going to Busan from the Incheon or Busan National Gimhae Airport would be, there is some process for the quarantine and COVID test. There are many things you need to also consider. That's at least I can answer you. Sorry about it. Do you guys help with any internship? No, we don't. However, what I suggest people, students, is that each school has different kind of services. So I would more likely to contact the school. Let's say, for example, if you want to come to the A school, then study there, and then while you're studying, you can ask some of the support from the school A. But I'm afraid for us, we don't actually help for the internship nor working in Korea. I'm afraid for now. Which is the minimum age needed to apply for any of the courses? Like I said, mostly is 18 years old. Does your service also applied in Mexico? For sure, we are helping Mexican people coming. I would say this would be my last question of this live streaming. What about applying for the Language Institute and Seoul University? What about applying for them? If you are saying about the Seoul National University, then you can do that. I cannot say like this school is good, that school is good. So it's a matter of, based on your research, of course. And then I'm afraid the Seoul National University is not our partner, so I cannot actually help you for that, but we can give you like brief information. But I heard many good things about the Seoul National Universities. That's what I can tell. Okay, once again, that was my last question. Sorry, the other question that I don't answer you. I plan to do this for only 1 hour, but it's past almost 80 minutes. So thank you so much for staying even now after 1 hour and 20 minutes. Once again, another giving you reminder next week, 24th of December, very good time, 10 a.m. We are going to invite a Korean teacher from Hanyang University to answer you some Korean and Korean question. Yes, Korean about the questions about Korean. So if you study by yourself, if you have some questions about this like grammar, that pronunciation, then bring it to next week so that she can answer you. Okay, once again, thank you for joining to our live streaming. Yes, we are in Seoul area. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay warm. Getting cold outside. Thanks for joining. And then see you next week. Is Korean hard? It's easy, man. You can do that. Just keep studying. You need to have some your own goal. Not just only Korean studying, but also in general. If you study Japanese, if you want to study Korean, if you study Spanish, it doesn't matter which language you are going to study. Studying new language is hard. But I want you to have like your own goal, passion, why you want to study, why you want to improve the skills. And then keep motivating yourself is the key. Very good. Speak Japanese though. Very good. Yeah. So if you learn the Japanese, it might be slightly easier just because the grammar system is similar. I wouldn't say same, but similar. Of course, there would be another challenge for the vocabularies, grammar, exceptions. All those things are pretty different from Japanese, but the system itself will be like a similar. Let's say subject, verb comes the late. The late is the subject, object, and verb. So that's something I can say similar thing. Yeah, that's true. Okay, once again, thanks for joining. I will go to my office, maybe, and then hopefully see you next week. Once again, if you want to come next March 2021, contact us now. I mean now, so that you can at least try. And then later, June, September, December still now. Now. Time matters, man. Time matters. 오케이. 안녕. 감사합니다. 오늘도 방문해 주셔서 감사합니다. Totally right now. Oh, Italy, 2 a.m. Oh my God. What are you doing in 2 a.m.? Yeah, stay home. Don't go outside. You should go, but stay home. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. 안녕하세요. 감사합니다. 감사합니다.